Hi, I'm Vernon Felton, Senior Editor at Bike Magazine. We're at Bike's 2015 Bible Bike Test. And tonight we're talking about Specialized S-Works Era 29, which is their top-of-the-line race bike for women. There's 3 bikes in the Era line, and if you don't know what the Era is all about, it's sort of basically the female version of the long-standing Epic, which is, again, all about speed, acceleration, and lightweight. What'd you guys think of it?
That about hits it. Yeah, it's definitely a rocket on the climbs for sure. It was super fast, I felt like.
Man, I looked at that bike and I was like, I don't know if I'm worthy. Like, it's matte black, it's totally like serious looking, super light, lots of carbon, but it flies and it's a fun ride.
It was nice to ride it at the end of the day when we were really tired.
Yes, it actually awesome. Descended also way better than I expected. Actually, I've ridden it before, and I enjoyed it a lot better on the trails we were on today than the trails I'd ridden in on before.
Why do you think that is?
I think there was just a lot more flow, and you could really pick up speed on these trails, and so it really kind of shined, you know. And even like some of the technical stuff, I think just having those bigger wheels and the 29er tires, I mean, that I think soaked up a lot of, because it's a 100 mil bike, and that was the shortest travel of anything we rode on these trails, and it felt like a lot more than that.
Yeah, we were all kind of scared. We're like, who's going to ride the Era on these drops? And it did great. I think the big wheels actually made up for what it doesn't have in actual travel.
Right. Well, that's interesting because I think a lot of people look at this bike and they go, oh, it's a race weapon, and it's going to be razor sharp steering, which is sometimes a nice way of saying sketchy as hell.
Yeah.
Right? But it sounds like you say that the bike is considerably more capable than you might have thought.
Than we all expected, for sure.
It was surprisingly capable.
But that's not to say it's not demanding. It's, I don't think an entry-level ride at all. Especially like on little airs and stuff. Landings were you had to work.
You had to be like on your game and land them correctly?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is that just because of, again, the bike having less travel, or is that a combination of maybe the geometry being a little quicker as well?
Lack of my skill, probably.
No, I think it's, from my perspective, it's great to see Specialized bring this bike back into the line. It's been out for several years, I think like 6 years.
Yeah, like 2010 or something.
Although I would say it is pretty specific. I mean, especially the one we tested is $11,000. Right. So
full
that is a lot of, and it had
carbon.
Really nice spec on it, great components. I mean, you can see why they priced it at that level. Right. But that is a lot of money.
Right. Now, the good news, of course, is you can get, if you get the bottom line, so to speak. I mean, it's still a high-end bike, but the bottom line Era is coming in about $4,200, right?
Yeah.
So, and you're still getting a lot of the same benefits. One of which is that it has the brain shock, right? Just like the Epic. The whole idea is it's a race bike. You're not going to want to. The thinking is that racers don't ever want to reach down and hit a lever.
Yeah.
They want to just set it and go fast, right? So that's the whole point of the inertia valve, is you don't have to adjust it. You get it to a level that you like, and then you're not dealing with a lot of bobbing. Did you guys actually like the brain? Because it's got a brain in the back, and it's got a RockShox RS1 fork, super customized fork with the brain in the front. What did you guys think of the suspension on it? Were you happy with the way that brain worked? Because it's at the back of the bike. You can't just flick the lever, right? That's the point.
And you brought that up on the trail, too. And I think because we're also used to adjusting things on the fly, like we've been kind of playing a lot with suspension as we're getting used to these bikes when we're testing them, and it was challenging you can't just reach back and change something. We had to stop and look at it. And
I think I said I had separation anxiety, having the adjustment so far away. But that said, I said it, I think I put it in the softest kind of mode, and I left it there for climbing and descending, and it felt good. Like, I didn't feel a lot of
if there's
bob,
nothing to change, it's not,
And I think if I had more of that racer mentality, I probably would find that very useful or convenient, or it's not necessarily what I'm used to, but I can see the benefit.
Trail rider perspective, but as a racer, set it once, don't touch a lever, just hammer.
Yeah.
Or just, anybody who likes riding cross country that doesn't like messing with their stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. It is kind of handy. I've grown to appreciate it over the last couple years. Like, it's definitely nice when you're riding. It's pretty stiff. as you're climbing until you start hitting
Right.
objects, and then it softens up.
Because that is supposed to be the point, right? The idea of the brain is that it's smart enough to know the difference between your pedaling inputs, your mashing on the pedals, and what happens when the wheel hits a bump.
Right.
And that's the idea: is it hits a bump and it opens up. When you're not hitting something rocky, it's nice and firm. When you look historically, a lot of women-specific bikes have been really down-spec'd. And here you got this bike that's full, top of the
Up-spec'd, if
line.
anything.
Yeah,
You can't get carbon wheels. SRAM XX1, not XO1, which is high end as it is, but it's got absolutely everything is as expensive as it could be, and it doesn't have flowers or rainbows on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I
Pretty
think
cool.
Specialized does deserve some credit for producing a bike at this level. You know, it shows their commitment to the women's market, and you know, I can't imagine they're going to sell a lot of these super high end. You know, maybe at the entry level or the mid level of the era they'll sell more, but this, you know, this is a halo bike, and I can't imagine they're going to sell a lot of them. But I do think it's impressive that they invested in it and that they're, you know, selling that bike. I do wish one thing. I do wish it had a dropper post.
Huh?
I mean, I know that on something so lightweight, you might not want to add.
And the idea is that
Even-
racers are going to set it and leave it
Yeah,
and all that
but
mess.
I don't know. I mean, I do feel like after having, I still feel like XC bikes can benefit from dropper posts as well.
But I guess they're thinking this is a pure race machine. Fits the bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely fits the bill for that.
All right. Well, if you want to read more about the era, check out Bike Magazine's Buy Well Bike Test. You want to look at some more of our videos, go online at bikemag.com.